I'm joined by Senator Tom Cotton. Good morning, Senator Cotton. How are you?
Good morning, Hugh. Good to be on with you.
Are you optimistic that today's marches in Venezuela will finally force Maduro out?
I hope so, Hugh. It really comes down to a handful of senior security officials around Maduro. As we heard last week in the Armed Services Committee, when I was questioning Admiral Fowler, the commander of our Southern Command, Nicolas Maduro is dependent on for his personal security in his own bed at night on the Cuban and Russian intelligence services. But if the leaders of the Venezuelan military and intelligence and security services end up turning on Maduro and recognizing that the only way they can save their own skin is to tell their troops to put down their arms, do not fire, or otherwise oppress their own people, and move forward with a new, fair, and free election, then Maduro's days will be over.
Now, I want to ask you about, I hope that happens, the Green New Deal, because so many in my business are attempting to disappear with it. They're actually complicit with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez trying to get rid of her 7-page white paper on it that she posted. Do you believe your colleagues knew what they were endorsing when they endorsed her crazy get rid of the cows and the airplanes white paper?
Sure. I mean, Hugh, it's pretty remarkable that when these Democrats put out the Green New Deal last week, that you had many Democrats running for president leap onto a proposal that was going to confiscate every privately owned vehicle in America within a decade and ban air travel so we could all drive or ride around on high-speed light rail, supposedly powered by unicorn tears.
Don't forget the cow. The cows, yes. They're all gone.
Well, we can all become vegan since cows are gone as well, since cow flatulence is a mortal threat to the world. Look, this is a classic example of a gaffe being when you say what you really mean. I understand the Democrats that proposed this immediately tried to retract that white paper that went along with their resolution, and too many people in the media have been complicit in the Stalin-like or 1984 technique of disappearing it, sending it down the memory hole. But this is where their heart lies. They believe that Americans driving around in trucks on farms or commuting from the suburbs where they can have a decent home into the city to get a job to work are a fundamental threat to the world, and they have to have the power and the control of those Americans' lives to implement their radical vision for humanity.
Let me then switch to another radical vision, BDS, boycott, divest, sanction Israel. Marco Rubio introduced a anti-BDS resolution. I'm sure you voted for it. But I think it's beginning to dawn on people this isn't just a nutty idea of the left. It's spreading abroad.
Yeah, Hugh, it has been spreading around the world, unfortunately. The Senate passed that with a pretty healthy vote, but unfortunately, it really divided the Democratic caucus. This is what you see over the last 25 to 30 years, regrettably, since the Oslo Accords. Support for Israel has steadily increased among Republicans and independents, yet it's stagnated or even declined among Democrats. This is not just an issue of radical liberals in the Congress, but this is where a lot of the heart of the Democratic Party lies. And frankly, whether it's here in the United States or if you look abroad, there's a connection between these two issues we're discussing. Throughout history, if you look hard enough at an anti-capitalist and what they say, you often find an anti-Semite.
That is absolutely true. Now, I want to switch very quickly to the, quote, deal that was agreed to by the 17. A cap on beds, a cut in the number of beds, is actually what you used to call the get-out-of-jail-free card. It is. It's almost incredible for me to say that they would. Will you vote for this?
Well, Hugh, it's premature. I know that the senior leaders on that conference committee say they have an agreement in principle. I don't think the committee has signed off on any final report. I know there hasn't been legislative text shared with the other senators, so I'll see what it says in the coming days. But as you say, capping the beds that ICE can use to detain illegal aliens is simply a backdoor way to have open borders. It's been a Democratic priority for a long time. Immigration is an area where the fine print really matters. The devil is very much in the details, so I'll have to go through the proposal in a fine-tooth comb. But I would certainly hope that we wouldn't be decreasing in any way the net number of beds available to ICE to detain dangerous illegal aliens.
So, Senator Cotton, between the Green New Deal, between BDS and refusal to support anti-BDS legislation, between attempts to cap the limit of, of beds. Has the Democratic Party gone off the cliff?
That presumes they were on the cliff to begin with.
True, it does. But, I mean, it does seem like it's an avalanche of tumbleweeds over the side.
So I think, Hugh, that over the last two weeks or so, what we've seen is not so much the Democratic Party going over the cliff, but the Democratic Party showing its true colors. That they truly do want the power to radically remake every American's lives by banning vehicles and banning air travel and even banning cows. At the same time, they're willing to engage in anti-Semitic language and boycotts against the nation of Israel.
Senator Tom Cotton, always good to talk to you, Senator. I will talk with you again soon. Looking forward to your new book, which was tipped by, I noted, Axios got the tip, not the Hugh Hewitt show, but we'll let that pass, Senator Cotton. We'll still talk to you about it when it comes out. Thank you, my friend. It comes out, I think, in early May.